What's going on, people? This is my third time shooting this video. I want the video to be right. You know, I want it to be real, but I also don't want it to be another woe is me sad complaining video. You know, I've wanted to do this video for some time. I haven't, largely because of anxiety, hence the title. And obviously I've skipped over my usual intro. I'm sort of in a place now where I feel like where I need to reinvent myself, so to speak, you know? I don't get the type of support from my friends that I would hope for, you know? I get that I am not entitled to a certain type of support just because I give it. But when the people that are literally standing beside me and doing the exact same things under the same umbrella that I'm doing are getting a certain type and level of support, and I don't get it, you know, it's hard to not feel some type of way, you know? However, I don't have another passion. I love to sing, I love to act. And I've been hired to do both those things professionally a great number of times. And so I know it's not that I don't have talent. You know, I know that my talent is not necessarily for everybody. Because, you know, not everyone thought Whitney was a great singer. Not everyone likes or enjoyed Prince, you know? But these are people who are legendary beyond understanding, you know? And so, and for, you know, don't think that I'm saying that I'm on their level, because I know that I'm not. But the point I'm trying to make is simply that I know I'm not for everybody, but I also know that I am damn talented, you know? I've always suffered with anxiety, and I am blessed to have learned to function through the anxiety. It was recently that I came across a post on Instagram, of all places, that basically, I don't remember exactly how it was worded, but it basically said, functioning through anxiety and getting things done, even though anxiety is weighing you down, takes a strength that no one, unless you're going through anxiety and functioning, will understand. And when I saw that, I was like, it was the first time where I realized, like, yo, I am pretty damn strong, you know? And so that's where this whole shift in mind began to really change. And after that, not too long after that, I went and did a performance where I was supposedly the headliner. And something happened that really pushed this mindset even further. Basically, it was only 3 performers, me being one of them, and, you know, as the headliner, I was the last performer. But something that I saw happen, well, 2 things that happened that really just rubbed me the wrong way and made me again begin to reevaluate and push forward on this change of flow in mind, was that the 2 performers before me, they performed, they were introduced by the curators or hosts, whatever they call themselves, and when they would introduce themselves, when they would introduce the entertainers, the host would then come out into the audience and they would film and, you know, post it to their Instagrams respectively, and yeah. Now, the reason this bothered me a little bit was because they literally did that for the first 2 performers, but then me, who is the headliner, they introduced me and then they went off about their business. Like, literally. Like, first of all, the audience that was there probably was if so much, you could have counted up to 10. You know? And then when I finally went up there, it's like everyone just disappeared, you know? Granted, I'll admit, considering the music that, you know, the first performer did and the music the second performer did, mine was very different. You know, everyone knows that I am in this place where I am pushing the vibes and sounds of the 90s, you know, and it's a situation where people love what I'm doing and respect what I'm doing, but it's like, but it's too artful, I think. You know, it's not commercial enough. That's what I think is really going down, which is understandable. And you can only get away with this kind of stuff if you are a Bruno Mars or who else is doing 90-esque, or maybe a Tory Lanez or whatever. Although he's more about sampling the 90s and whatnot. But yeah, but the point is, it was just one of those things where I was just like, yo, this is not cool, you know. But of course I pushed my way through the performance and I figured, you know what, I'm on a stage, some of this is being filmed, and, you know, hopefully I can use some of this performance for, you know, to get other gigs, you know. Something else that had happened actually though. So there's this girl from the Four named Javaya. And, you know, I had never heard her name before, but I did, and I didn't really watch the Four like that, but I did see some of the performances on YouTube because, you know, the show just kind of came out of nowhere at the time, and people were just talking about this girl. And I went and I looked and I was like, oh, she's pretty dope. Oh, I think she was 16 at the time or something when she was on the Four. And yeah, so either way, I was like, okay, she's cool. You know, she looks like art. She reminded me like of a young version of Jane Child from the 90s, you know, early 90s. However, Javaya, and I keep saying her name like that on purpose, I'll tell you why in a moment, but she came out with her first official single called Candlelight. And I was like, oh, this is a pretty dope song. It was soulful-esque and whatnot, and I was like, okay, well, I really like the song. Let me cover it. Let me do my own version of the song, you know. And so that's what I did. I created an instrumental from scratch and recorded the vocals, and I just put it out there, you know. When I put it out there though, I did a little intro like I normally do with my YouTube videos, and throughout the video, for one, I was referring to her as Zavia because I didn't know that you pronounce her name Javaya. But her stans like dragged me for filth. Like they called me every name in the book and just made fun of me in every way, shape, and form. And then they came for my singing and told like a multitude of them just kept saying, you know, you can't sing, sit your behind down. They used more explicit words and whatnot. And these were young kids. They were clearly, you know, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old and whatnot. But they were just tearing me to shreds, basically, you know. And that's fine. That's whatever, you know. I mean, yeah, it caught me off guard. And it really made me like go back and listen to the song and see if I sounded that bad. And normally I don't do that. Absolutely, there are people who, like I said, my singing isn't for everyone. And my style of singing is very church, very 90s, very, you know, full voice, very soulful, very riffs and runs and whatnot, you know. And well, I won't say that. I was gonna say something, but that might get me in trouble, or maybe not, because nobody watches these videos really. But, and that goes hand in hand with the whole support even from your friends type thing. But part of the reason that I did go back and listen to the song, to the cover, is because I've been going through some vocal issues. Like I've been in and out of the ENT, out of the doctor's office. There was a point where I thought it seemed like I was gonna no longer have a voice, you know, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong. And I was taking these different medications. I had to change my eating habits completely. I had to go through this whole thing. I kept ending up in the hospital because I was literally losing my breath. I would wake up at 5 a.m. unable to breathe, and I'd be rushed to the hospital, gasping for air, you know? And even though I was I was definitely told to be on complete vocal rest when I recorded that cover of Javaya's song, Candlelight, the artist that I am and the passion that was in me to record that song at that moment wouldn't let me rest. And so I tried to fight through. I recorded it. You know, I still don't think it sounds that bad. And what I did, honestly, I'll say this much. I did end up editing the video and removing my intro. You know, I figured, you know what? If people are that bothered by my pronunciation of Javaya's name, then I'll just remove the intro and just put the song out there, you know. Because I'll admit, for a while I actually just made the video private, because it was like almost every 5 minutes, like almost every day, I was getting some negative comment. And the crazy part is that it always had something to do, it was either with my pronunciation of her name, they disrespected my singing abilities, or they were just disrespecting my appearance, basically. And these are all things that I am insecure about, you know? So I made the video private for a while, and then I quickly realized that you can actually edit the video on YouTube as opposed to having to delete the video and edit and then repost it and all of that stuff. So I eventually, like I said, just cut off the intro and just let the video be public again. People have been watching it. They haven't been leaving comments this time around. You know, I think people were just, and I realized people were probably just pushed to hate because I started the video with such a long intro, and by pronouncing, forgive me, Javaya's name incorrectly. But I also get it. You know, there was a point when I was in high school, when I was a kid, and I stand so hard for Destiny's Child and Beyonce and whatnot, you know. Yeah, so, but all of that experience didn't really help my anxiety, you know. And so, even though that didn't start the spiral of my shift in thinking, it definitely, like, my mind went back to it when I began to think differently, and it just, like, all of this together just sort of solidified a lot of things for me. And I've pretty much decided to just not try to satisfy the onlookers, basically, you know. I have goals, I have aspirations. There's a lot of things that I haven't done because of anxiety. There are a lot of things that I need to change to help break out of my anxiety. You know, I am a bit self-conscious, well, a lot self-conscious about my physical appearance, you know, and dudes don't really talk about that a lot. You know, dudes don't admit to having body issues, you know. I don't even admit to it. And I remember one time when I really spoke on it with a producer that I was working with, and he literally made it seem like I was acting like he pretty much said, you acting like a female. That's pretty much what he said. Like, you know, you're a dude, it don't matter what you look like. And I'm like, what do you mean? It doesn't matter what I look like. Girls care what you look like as much as we as men care what women look like. And that's not to say that, you know, that I don't even know how to fix that statement. You know, it's like, I responded to him in that manner because it almost seemed as if he was saying, your job is to just be a man who is there singing, entertaining these women. But it's like, nah, we gotta look good for these women as well. It's why I've honestly always felt like this. Why? Best example, what's his name? And I should know his name because I'm a fan of him and his wife, Boris Kodjoe. he did an interview once, I'll never forget, and he kind of got bashed for it a little bit, but very quickly women came around, particularly I think when Nicole, his wife, supported what he was saying. And basically he said that if his wife, or when his wife started to gain some weight and began to basically get a little fat, he told her, honey, make that right, you know? And what he did though is he worked out with her, because he was gaining some weight too, you know, but he was working out enough to still look like his model self, so to speak. But he said, like, the truth is, I fell in love with a certain woman, you know, and I'm very much so attracted to my wife, but I don't think there's anything wrong with helping my wife to keep it all in check. And she does the same to him, basically, you know. And so I digress. Let me not go any further with that, because I see myself drifting into a whole different video. The point I'm trying to make though is that I do have body issues. Men do have body issues. If we didn't have body issues, we wouldn't try to lose weight if we felt that we were too fat. And that's pretty much what I am going through, you know. And so I'm making some changes now, you know. I've lost quite a bit of weight, but I haven't really been trying. It's just kind of in conjunction with me having to change my diet to preserve my voice, you know. So either way, dealing with, and so with recording, even, like, I can't really hit notes like I used to. Granted, I'm slowly getting back, because I think that has to do with the change of diet and things like that. Although I'm gonna admit, I've kind of slipped back into certain things that I'm not supposed to be eating, which is terrible. But I'm trying to fix that back. I'm trying to get back to what I should be doing. It's just hard, you know. It's not easy, and there are some times where, like, even just speaking to friends, you know, like, the part of the reason that I do have so many YouTube videos where I'm just doing this, speaking and sort of venting, so to speak, is because it doesn't seem like my friends really want to hear what it is that I have to say. You know, people have this way of thinking that you're a certain age and you should just, you know, grow up. You know, grown men don't think like this, feel like this, act like this. And it's like, nah, regardless of how old I am, I'm a human being with feelings and emotions, and I handle them a certain way because I'm a human being with feelings and emotions. You know, stop telling people, especially black men, that they're not allowed to feel, because that's not true, right, or okay, you know? So basically, I'm posting this video just to let you know that there's going to be a shift. If you do watch, those of you who are out there who do watch this video, who do watch my videos at all, thank you so much for watching. I apologize for taking so long to do a video, but honestly, I felt like no one was really watching. Like, the last couple of videos I posted, I think I saw like maybe 3 views. And those views were probably me checking to see that the video was working, you know? And that's what I was getting at. Like, nobody wants to like really listen or hear me out when I just want to talk and just vent and whatnot. And so that's part of the reason that I do these videos. Well, yeah, part of the reason. Part of the, you know, first reason is that my friends, people who are supposed to be my friends, don't really want to sit down and talk. You know, they don't want to like converse and really just be there for each other, for one thing. And secondly, I figure if they don't want to listen, let me speak on camera. Hopefully this video will help someone. That was the whole point of me starting YouTube in the first place, hoping that I can help another person out there, another artist, you know, a younger Solomon out there or something, you know. Yeah, so I must look crazy. Like, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see what's going on in the viewfinder. And I'm like leaning against this wall. I completely shift my room around, so now I actually have a space where I can just put the camera up and stand and speak and all that good stuff. Whereas before, if you look at the other videos, I always had a, what do you call it? It was always a sheet. It was a gray sheet, my bed sheet that I would put up just to hide what was really going on in the bedroom at the time. It was a mess. It was bad, you know, but I've cleaned up and shifted things around, and I can actually walk around and all that good stuff now. And so I don't really want to go too much further with this video, but I just wanted to say, like, yeah, I've gotten to that place now where I'm just gonna do what I want to do and not worry about impressing other folk, not worry about whether or not the internet trolls are gonna drag me for filth. I know what I can do, I know what I do, and if you enjoy it, you do. Hit the like button. If you don't enjoy it, hit the dislike button. You know, such is life. I can't live my life anymore hoping that people like me. It's just not a great way to live, and it does no good for my anxiety, you know. So yeah, expect more videos from now on, a lot more covers. I'm just gonna cover the songs that I want to cover and just live my best life, basically, and I pray that you do the same. So with that said, God bless, thank you for watching, and until next time.